I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We have the very talented Vice Midnight here. Hi.
Hello.
Don't sound too excited.
Nah, this is just my normal voice.
Thank-
that is exactly how I sound almost anytime I answer a Discord call. So don't worry, it's perfectly fine.
So sound like you were answering one of those calls that says spam risk on your phone. Hello.
I don't even answer those.
Well, I just want to call. We're here to talk about your car's extended warranty. No, it's been a long time since I was a telephone thing. When I did that very very briefly, when I really needed money badly, and I feel sorry for the folks in New York that I sold stuff to. So hi, introduce yourself to everybody, please.
All right, just set up real quick. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Vice Midnight. Mostly for a hobby, I do voice acting in both the safe for work and not safe for work field. I am also a PNG YouTuber. I stream here and there, but I've been on a bit of a break so I can focus on voice acting, but so I could also just finish up any work I have left on my job.
Yeah.
Though I do plan on coming back May 25th, since I don't have to go into work Monday, and I planned a 12-hour mini subathon. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I'm hoping nonetheless I'll have fun. I am also an affiliate for a VTuber lip balm company that is still getting some things squared away, but by tomorrow they should have pre-orders ready.
Oh wow, lip balm. You know, that's something I never would have thought of. But I would think that would be something that would be really, really useful after for some folks.
Mhm.
If you go on in and you're just dried up and chapped and hurting and ow, that would be tough for a long time.
I've dealt with chapped lips since I was a kid, and I've gone through lip balm after lip balm. But so being an affiliate for this kind of company, and not to mention all of the lip balm they're gonna have, they're all handmade. They're all handmade, vegan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I think those are just the two big things about them is that they're handmade and they're vegan lip balm.
Yeah, I love the concept. I love the concept, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. You, I heard your demo reel a little while ago. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, how long have you been doing the voice acting stuff?
So I started with not safe for work voice acting back in October. I'm no stranger to voice acting. I definitely done it long before then. As a matter of fact, I'd probably say I've done voice acting since I was probably maybe 15 or 16.
Wow.
But it was a super small hobby of mine
Right.
that I never really considered it to be something that I would do a lot more up until recent. Let me just say, doing NSFW voice acting gets you connections to people pretty quickly, especially connections with people that have bigger connections to people that are even in the industry.
Right.
So being able to get those connections almost as soon as possible, whether it be with artists with thousands upon thousands of followers, voice actors and voice actresses with a lot of followers that also have those kinds of connections. It's actually really nice because my hobby for voice acting kind of stemmed from my hobby on getting into streaming because I started getting into VTubers probably late 2023, somewhere around early 2024. And I'd always known about VTubers, but never really got into it until that time.
Mhm.
And the more I watched them, the more I just kind of realized, you know what? Why not? Why don't I give it a shot? And since the summer of last year, actually, it's been smooth sailing since.
It's your I always try to call it an instrument, but your voice um, is is amazingly adaptable. Listening to your demo, and when did you find out that you could do that sort of thing? You know, you change the voice around, really be an actor as opposed to like somebody like me when I was in radio reading a line for a grocery store.
Uh, I guess it was mainly through compliments that I've gotten either by my friends or Kaiju Kua or Kua Kinks, who was the voice director for both my character demo reel and spicy demo reel on my other account that I will not say. Um, but
We like to keep
he
all our interviews up online, please.
you those that are listening to this, you're gonna have to find out for yourself where it is. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But he he was telling me, like, what, as he was kind of leading me on how to say certain lines, whether it be through tone of voice or if I have to shout or be quiet or speak in a certain accent,
Mhm.
um, or just through other stuff that I've voiced in before. He tells me that um, despite having a bit of a, I kind of naturally have a nasally voice, mainly because I just dealt with being congested
Mhm.
for so much of my life.
Mhm.
But even then, he still tells me that my voice is very flexible.
Mhm.
I've managed to pull off other sorts of voices. While I, for me, it's like, I don't know. I to me, it sounds like I'm still using my regular voice,
Yeah.
but anytime I do something, everyone tells me that my biggest strength is my flexibility on my voice.
Mm. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I've just been doing it so much now that I don't notice. But nonetheless, that does make me feel that makes me feel good about myself. And
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd say it's a bit of an ego boost, but I'd say it's kind of an ego boost. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it helps if you have a voice box the size of a football.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you remember Mel Blanc, the great someone who would make $1 billion today if he was in his prime. He had a giant voice box, just from
Say Mel Blanc. The Mel Is it Mel Blanc or Mel Blanc?
Blanc, I believe.
The
Yeah, the
say a guy who
but
voiced in a lot of like Looney Tune stuff.
yeah, all that stuff, and an actor besides. It's a lot different than I could give you a script for a 60-second commercial for a car company, and you could
Mm,
read that and do a little inflection here and there and make it sound good. But then I give you a script for um, a a short movie.
mm.
It's a lot different, isn't it?
It is a lot. It is a lot different, but in the end, all of it really is just, excuse me. All of it really is just voice acting.
Mm.
Also, the people that will watch this on YouTube, I'm sorry if I sound a little off. I have been a tad sick
Mm.
since yesterday.
Yeah.
Not sick, but mainly just dealing with kind of a cold.
Listen to that.
I
Listen,
ain't dead. I ain't
listen,
dead yet.
listen to that flex. That little modest flex. I'm cold, but still have a better voice than the host.
Hey, don't be beating yourself up like that.
Hey,
Come on now.
if who else is going to do it better than I can? You
Oh
know,
my word.
I, if I can find a weak target and win every time, why can't I do that?
Mm,
But it's I do envy you guys because of the your flexibility and what you're able to do. I can't.
mhm.
I might be able to do a voice for a couple of seconds, but I can't find it again afterwards. It's that's something too that you have to. Is that Were you able to do that easily, or was it something you had to learn over time?
Um, maybe a bit of both.
Mm,
I think I feel like I'm able to do these kind of voices just naturally or easily,
mm,
but I think the harder part is either maintaining it or having that experience.
mm,
Because I think that's a weakness that I have is that despite being able to have this kind of flexibility in my voice, I definitely lack this. And even though I said I've technically been voice acting since I was like 15 or 16,
mm.
I was never doing it every day.
Right.
I I would only do something like that maybe like once and then like never do voice acting again years later.
Mm,
Um so I definitely lack the experience
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's just
and trying to
yeah.
maintain that voice. But I think again with Kua having that being there for me for voice direction, it helps me a little bit on trying to maintain that. I'm trying to maintain what kind of voice that I have.
Oh yeah, yeah, and having and as you said, doing the stuff before and kind of getting the network going a little bit.
Mhm.
Knowing people means a lot, uh, but still, in the end, it's going to be whether your voice fits the part. Um,
Mhm.
I interviewed a person a while back who got a extremely good part, lead part in the English dub of a Japanese um, series, and she just followed a blind audition and got that part. Didn't even know what they
Oh.
were applying for. So I mean, it's you got to shoot your shot with this stuff. If you think you can do
Mhm.
it, maybe you do have the voice for it. Maybe somebody is looking for a Southern Missouri farm boy voice, and that's what you have.
True.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's you never know what's coming up with this, and and once you get that part, you're kind of uniquely attached to it. Um,
Mhm.
it would be very tough once if it was like a series or something. It'd be very tough to replace you at that point. Everybody will know immediately if something is different. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, do you do exercises or anything for your voice, or are you just doing it natural?
Uh, I just kind of go for it.
Mm,
Sometimes I actually so I just go for it, but I do multiple takes.
mm,
Like if I don't like how I delivered a certain line, then I'll just cut the recording and give it another shot.
yeah.
So I guess it's a bit of both.
Mm. Do you have
I just keep going for take after take I think I've until I think I'm like satisfied with what I was given
you've
or
become
with what I gave.
you've become an artist, haven't you?
I I
Yes,
suppose.
you're one of those folks who's not ever pleased with. It's not done. I'm going to try it again. A little wobble there. I'm going to try it again.
No, no, yeah, I do that a lot. Like if I so sometimes whenever I'm trying to voice act, I may say a word wrong or I may like slur a word to
Uh-huh.
where it's like, oh, that doesn't sound clear, it doesn't sound like I'm actually saying the word. Let me give it another shot. And I may try three or four more times until I feel like I've really nailed that piece of dialogue. Like right now, I'm currently the main head for my fandom of Coffee Talk.
Ooh.
I only have the first 2 days uploaded on my channel right now,
Hmm.
and luckily with the place I work at kind of wrapping up, I'll be able to have a lot more time in the summer
Hmm.
to work on these.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of dialogue to do. So sometimes if I mess up on a piece of dialogue that I'm trying to voice, then I'll probably just start the whole thing over. Or actually, so whenever I was in the process of like getting all the voice lines modded in for day two,
Right.
um, I was listening to Alice Irvin's lines, who voices the character Freya in the game,
Uh-huh.
hearing her dialogue, and I was just like, "Wait, can I swear?"
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, we're play too close.
Whenever I was listening to her dialogue, I was just like, "Oh fuck, I gotta re-record all of mine." And I had all of mine ready,
Yeah,
but going back into it, I was severely like lacking a tone of voice,
yeah.
and then listening to hers, I was just like, "Fuck me, I gotta re-record everything." But I
Change the
think that's
gear.
a good, good.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just change the gear from second to third. try try again.
I think that's a good thing though, because if you hear someone's lines that you're voicing with,
Hmm.
and then you look back at yours and you're just like, oh wait, hold on, let me try something, and you just want to do it all over again.
Yeah,
So sometimes if you know it, especially if you know what you're doing and you know how to deliver those lines yourself without a voice director,
yeah,
then I'd say that's a good thing.
yeah. And now I got to ask you because I did a lot of when I was doing the radio for 30 some years. I did a lot of long form
Mhm.
recording and programming, and
Mhm.
there were times when I would put down a 20-minute ramble and find that 30 seconds of it was terrible right in the middle.
Mhm.
If that happens to you, do you try to record that part and slip it in, or do you start the whole thing over again?
Um, so when it comes to voice acting, originally I would just start the whole thing all over, but then I've started to slowly get into the habit of like, oh, I like this piece of dialogue, and I like this piece of dialogue, but I don't like how I said this.
Mm,
Let me just cut this out, and then I'll re-record it. I've gotten into more of a habit of that, but originally I would just do the whole thing all over.
yeah,
And I realized, oh, if I keep doing that, that's probably just going to be a pain in the rear side to do. So I think from now on, I am going to um, just leave in certain parts that I liked, and then re-record anything I didn't like.
yeah. And the electronic way of recording helps you out quite a bit with that because editing is so much easier now. And in the 80s, we were still using reel to reel tapes, and editing those meant pulling out the razor blade and
Mhm.
hopefully cutting the right part. And that was really tough to do. And when those days, I would just go ahead and start over again because there's no way I'm going to sit there for 2 hours and edit 3 seconds of tape. Um, and it would have taken me that long. But if you have
Mhm.
a program, and I use Audacity. It's not not the super.
I also use
Yeah,
Audacity.
there's a lot of tools that I in there I don't have any idea to use yet, but it allows me to edit and find the spots where I you know stumble a little bit and don't really want people to see, and it works pretty good for something that doesn't cost anything. It's very close to what we were
Mhm.
using in radio when I finally left. Um, what? So you use Audacity? Do you use a special microphone? Are you because your voice has
Yeah.
yeah, your voice has a lot
So
more range than mine, so you'd need a better microphone, I'd imagine.
so I use a Neumann TLM 103 microphone.
Mm,
Fun fact: I didn't buy that microphone.
mm,
My father, who he's now I think it's like he's a manager he's a manager where he works at,
mm-hmm,
but before then he was an auto mechanic, and my dad, excuse me, while he was kind of looking through like rental cars and whatnot, he noticed that in one of them was a microphone.
mm.
It was a Neumann TLM 103, and those things are like $1,100, $1,200.
Oh,
That's a lot of money to spend.
was it a rental
And
Cadillac?
yeah, it was in the rental car parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
Just a parking lot where the rental cars are not being used,
Oh
or just
wow.
not being rented at all.
Right.
The mic was just left in there.
Oh. Man, Merry
So
Christmas
so my
to
dad
you.
found that. My dad found that, and he was like, "Hey, I know you've talked about voice acting in the past, so I found this mic, and I was like, Dad, those mics are literally used in like recording studios, like
Yeah,
musicians and
yeah,
voice actors use that.
yes.
Yes, I am taking the opportunity.
Should I have the $1 million or should I just not? Yeah, I'm take the $1 million.
Exactly. So I've been using that mic for voice acting. I also use I use a Focusrite Scarlett Solo as the audio interface.
Hmm.
And I also I use a mic stand. I
Hmm.
have an isolation shield, a pop filter, and I actually literally have the mic just I just have the mic stand, excuse me, standing right next to my desk.
Now,
I don't have like I don't have I don't have like a booth for myself. I don't have a separate room for voice acting.
hmm,
It's all just in one place.
how about sound buffing in the room? Have you put anything up for that?
Nope.
Mm.
I rely all on my pop filter and isolation shield, which
Well, it sounds
having
great. I mean,
the
yeah,
having the isolation shield is really nice because
yeah.
it does help a lot more with just lowering any chance of reverb or anything like that. I do have like so the desk I have is it's a corner desk,
Hmm.
an L-shaped desk, and the mic stand is next to my desk,
Hmm.
but the mic stand is right in front of my window, so I guess those curtains slightly help
Oh yeah,
with lowering the reverb a bit more,
yeah.
but
It does.
it's mostly just me relying on my pop filter and my isolation shield
It does make
around the mic.
it does make a lot of difference. And for folks listening, um, that's a pretty pro setup. I mean, that's if you're just going on and streaming and you're not trying to do the voice straight up voice acting, you don't
Mhm.
really need to have all that equipment. uh,
No, yeah, you don't
yeah,
because for streaming or for Discord, the mic that I'm using right now is a Shure MV6.
yeah.
This is just this is just a USB-C mic.
Hmm.
It's a lot honestly, it's a lot better to have
Yeah,
than having an XL. Sure, like you can use an XLR mic for streaming. I'm
yeah,
sure there are plenty of streamers that do that.
yeah.
But for me, I would rather not constantly switch my mic over to the stand and then over to my desk. I
Right,
would just rather have one for recording and one for streaming or for
right.
just casual use.
Yeah, yeah. And I talked to folks about frequency range a little bit. And frequency range
Mhm.
for someone who's just kind of yapping like me isn't very big. Um, Someone who does singing, someone who does voice acting, um, that type of thing, they need a larger frequency range. So it's worth
Mhm.
it to find the microphone that's got higher highs and lower lows. I mean, if I was Barry White on this microphone, it would sound a lot worse than it already does. If I was trying to sing, first of all, I would hurt people with it. Second of all, it would be clipped high and low because of the frequency range. Um, so
Mhm.
I mean, keep an eye on that. There's just little things that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on that'll make you sound better um, in the short term. So when you're up on streaming, first of all, when did you get involved with streaming?
Last year.
Oh,
Last year in the summer is when I started streaming. It's during the summer. Yeah, summer last year. It was around
mm-hmm,
May, June. So April or May. Somewhere around that time. It was somewhere around the beginning of summer last year when I started getting involved in streaming just for fun.
mm-hmm.
Um, I was just kind of doing. I just do whatever. I'm a variety streamer. I like to do whatever is on my mind. Though recently, what have I been doing recently? Let me take a look. If the videos have not run out, if the videos are not Okay, yeah. So a lot of them. Okay, a lot of those streams are past 14 days and they've disappeared. Okay. Um,
Rely
my
on
most recent
memory.
stream was my most recent stream was 2 weeks ago. It was a drunk Jackbox party stream.
Oh boy.
But other stuff that I've been doing is either Repo or Marvel Rivals,
Yeah.
or I'll play Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2.
Whoa.
Um, though what I'd like to do more is try to play more games that I still have in my Steam library,
Yeah.
or any games that are in the Steam family library that I'm a part of,
Yeah.
because I am getting a little tired of just playing this. Most of my streams have either just been Space Marine 2, Marvel Rivals, or Fortnite,
Mm.
and I really need to switch that.
Well, would you rather have a game that you're fully involved in online, or would you like to have a game where you can interact with your chat a little more?
Probably both,
Mm.
but at the same time, I feel like I would have more fun streaming and showing off my reaction to a game if it's a game that I have yet to play.
Mm.
If I want to be considered a variety content streamer, then I want to be able to have more of that variety, because whenever I'm looking at my library, I'm just like, what do I want to stream? But I never figure out what I want to stream, so I just kind of settle with maybe something like Rivals just because I'm bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though, excuse me. Though I did buy recently came out Doom: The Dark Ages.
Hmm.
So I'm mainly just looking to play that just for self-entertainment, but there may be a time or two where I may stream
That looks very
it.
interesting. I've seen folks get started on that. I haven't seen too much into it, but it looks like it could be something
Mm,
that's very immersive. Another one of those games where you just the atmosphere takes you over, and
mm.
you have to really concentrate because things are coming at you left and right. Um,
Oh yeah.
so when you got started with the streaming, was it easy for
Mm.
you to communicate one on one with or one on several with the chat, or did it take a little while to get used to that sort of thing?
Now I only have 249 followers, and honestly, my chat from for like maybe 95% of my streams are just dead.
Mm,
Like barely, not a lot of people not a lot of people show up in my streams. In fact, the most that showed up was what was that drunk Jackbox party stream, and that was because because the people that the amount of people that I had
hmm.
on that stream, they were all promoting in their server, telling their friends like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on this stream,"
Yeah.
and that very night, my chat was the most active,
Yeah.
and it does overwhelm me a little bit because I'm so used to maybe two or three people showing up in my chat for a little bit and then dipping,
Hmm.
or I'm also used to just my chat being completely empty.
Mm.
So when I get that instance of like 10 or 15 people that are showing up to watch my stream and they're all interacting in chat, it does get a little overwhelming because again, I'm just used to what I'm already used to.
Hmm.
But I also appreciate knowing that a lot of those people are showing up to watch me do whatever the fuck I'm doing.
If would you be comfortable up on stage acting?
Eh, uh sure, why not?
Really?
Honestly.
In front of people that you
I
see?
I've been in front of people before for other things that I cannot recall for some reason. I mean,
The
I don't know.
the
Sitting in
psychological
front, like
scars.
I have like a terrible memory. I can never remember everything, but in my head, I'm like, sure. I mean, if it, why not? Why not? I never acted on stage before,
Hmm.
but if the opportunity was there, I would just be like, sure, why not? I feel like I wouldn't have an issue with no, I remember now. So I used to whenever I was in middle school, I used to be in band.
Ah, yeah.
So I've performed in front of people in gymnasiums. I
Yeah.
used to be in marching band when I was in 8th grade,
Hmm.
so I've done marching before. I've done all that stuff before, so I feel like acting in front of an audience wouldn't be too much of an issue. Just give me time to practice and nail that role, and then I'll be able to do that.
Well, I asked that because that you have to add an extra dimension to acting from voice acting to being on stage. You have to use the facial stuff and all that and physically
Yep.
show. But with voice acting, you have to create all of that with your voice, and whether you were supposed to show angst, you're supposed to show that somebody's bit your leg, something along those lines. You have to act and show the people that are listening. You have to show them a picture of what's going on. Do you take that as a challenge?
So, believe it or not, a lot of a lot of the stuff that I was able to learn in voice acting, a lot of it was, I feel like, I don't know if this is a common thing or not, but I feel like a lot of voice actors in general kind of gain their experience in acting not only just through other forms of voice acting, but also through live action acting in general, whether it be movies or shows. Um, I feel like learning from those can actually strengthen your ability to do voice acting, because I feel like you can't just learn through voice acting,
Hmm.
because it's not all just video games, and especially anime voice acting.
Right.
It Not all of it is just that. I feel like if you're gonna be getting into voice acting, not only learn through voice acting, of course, but also learn through live action acting. Watch a TV show, watch a plethora of movies,
Hmm.
and see how the actors are showing their facial expressions, and how their tone of voices are, and how they deliver their lines. Hell, wrestling,
Yeah.
WWE,
Yeah.
AEW, TNA,
Yeah.
literally any form of wrestling that implements that. I mean, if you think about it, wrestling is also acting.
Oh, absolutely.
You're also kind of putting on a character. You're literally putting on a character. You're showing off how you can put emotion into a character.
Yeah.
um so it's, you could also learn from, if you want to go the extra mile, you can also learn from wrestling, because a lot of them are also acting. Yeah, that, hell, if you want my a personal example of mine, if you ever want to get into acting, watch Breaking Bad. Breaking
Yeah.
Bad has some very fine acting,
Yeah.
some very,
Absolutely.
very good acting.
Absolutely. And it doing that, I think, would keep somebody from over emoting too, because that would be that.
Yes.
And in watching anime, over emoting is sometimes fine because that's kind of
I mean,
especially for the silly ones. But
no, oh no, yeah. And when it comes to anime, you do need to put in a more of
cheese,
a bit of a dramatic voice
add extra
without
cheese.
overdoing it.
Yes. Yeah. It's there's if the and it all depends on what it calls for. I mean, if you're doing like a parody of something, you can be sillier. If you're doing a comedy type role, or I mean, there's all sorts of different things to play into it. Um, but it really sounds like, for what your instrument has and what your attitude and your talent is, it really has fit you really well.
Mhm.
I can expect to hear a lot more things from you in the future with it. Is the future bright for you? Have you got some opportunities coming up?
Um, so I've been putting out auditions here and there in Casting Call Club. So far, I have, in terms of actual like original projects, I've gotten one role so far.
Mm-hmm.
And not that wasn't even because of casting. It wasn't even because of that. It was actually because someone reached out to me through emails,
Cool.
through an email, saying that they listened to my demo reel
Hmm.
and they really liked it. And they said, "Hey, if you want to audition for my audio drama, let me look back on it. It's called Flowers and Scorpions.
Mm,
You can listen to it on Spotify. It
cool.
currently has 3 episodes out right now.
Excellent.
Um, but yeah, they reached out to me. They said, "Hey, do you want to audition for this? See where you might get." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be nice." I auditioned for 2 characters, and I got the role of a character named Devin. I think his name was Devin Bacon.
Mm.
Uh,
Devin Bacon.
oh, Devin Bacon. Why did I think of a last name? No, it's just okay. No, the character's name is just Devin. I don't know why I was thinking of a last name. I was
Well,
kind of tripping there.
well,
My fault.
Bacon,
Uh,
Devin Bacon is perfectly fine. You have six. Devin is like Kevin's younger cousin. That's all.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon's younger cousin, Devin Bacon. But no, it's a small role. I voiced in the first episode, but my voice is not heard again till like later episodes, which I'm fine with.
Hmm.
But no, yeah, this is the first legitimate role that I have gotten so far. Is this character in this audio drama?
Well, we're gonna follow.
I have. Hmm?
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go. You
I
go
just
ahead.
see we're gonna follow and as much as we can how things are going for you because 'cause
Hmm.
I think you've got a really good shot at doing some big things here. And
I'm really hoping so.
yeah, it's gonna be it. And again, there's a lot of circumstance that plays into it, and a lot of right
Hmm.
place, right time. Um, but as long as you keep firing, you're gonna hit some of those targets. And then it's networking after that.
Hmm.
You know, so keep that up and keep going with the streaming too. Have you got a few things coming up with your streams that and you mentioned coming up in all your coming back here soon on the was
Yeah.
it 26th, was it
25th.
25th? So
Yep.
12 hours. I mean, are you ready for that?
I've done 12-hour streams before. I can do it. I can do it again.
Uh,
It's 24-hour streams that I cannot do ever again unless I feel like I can really do it because last time I did a 24 the first time I did a 24-hour stream, it was a New Year's Eve to New Year's Day stream.
yeah.
24 hours. I
Oh.
never again.
Oh.
Never again. I
Oh.
was completely burnt out. I did not want to get back up out of bed after I went to bed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, yeah, no, unless I manage to build that energy to do another 24-hour stream in the future, I'm never doing one again. But a 12-hour stream, honestly, I can do that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
12 hours, believe it or not, it actually blows by pretty fast.
Yeah. If you find something you're really interested in, it goes by really quick. And not
Mm.
work because work never goes by that fast. You
It depends on the day.
That's true. Now, 24 hours, people don't realize how that affects you in a long term because that's sleep you're never going to catch up on. Um,
Nope.
yeah, I mean, some folks can sleep, 16 hours after that, but you don't feel too good after that. And you,
No, you.
I know from experience, unfortunately. There were some radio shifts where I went 20 hours plus. Of course, I was less than half the age I am now. I don't think I would do it again. I did a 16-hour shift at work the other day, and I was pretty proud of myself.
Hmm.
I slept for 12 hours the next day, but I was pretty proud of myself for being this old and still being able to do that sort of thing. But you should.
Mhm.
I hope that you're you're content and happy with where you are right now because there's a lot of people who would like to have your ability and and talent and attitude to do this and wouldn't be able to do what you're able to do. I hope you're proud of that.
I'm definitely proud of where I've gotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've become a completely different person compared to who I was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I feel a lot more happy with the position that I'm in right now in terms of my hobbies. Though the other side of me also wishes that I could go even further. Or I wish, like I wish I could have like 1,000 followers. I wish I could have like at least 15 people in my channel. But I also know that if I want to get to that kind of position, I need to continue working on that.
Yeah.
I need to continue streaming. I need to continue showing off what I can do, what I have, and really just continue to overall show who I can be as a streamer.
Yeah.
But also as a voice actor, because again, even though I am very happy and very proud of where I am right now, I wish I could be up to where people like Allegra Clark are, or Alejandro Sab, or Jonah Scott, or Alex Lee and Zeno Robinson. Like I wish I could be in the same position that they are, but I know that if I want to even come close to that or come halfway, I need to continue working my ass off.
Yeah. And
to get there.
And all of that's reachable. I firmly believe that all of that and more is reachable for you. And we're going to keep an eye on you and see what goes on. We're going to have all of the links that we've been able to find for Vice Midnight on the description for this video. But I'm going to have you back before the end of the year, and I want to see how progress is going for you. If that's okay with you.
That sounds perfect with me.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.